Of all the forms of self-sabotage that you may be doing, I think self-care is the sneakiest of them all. Because with self-care, it's one of those things where you think you're doing something good for yourself, you think you're doing something amazing, but you may actually be shooting yourself in the foot in the name of self-care. So I want to talk about all of the ways that you might be using self-care to sabotage yourself. And I think what's most helpful about this is that the second you look self-sabotage in the eye, it holds no power over you. Now, the way that we commonly think of self-care is face masks, massages, getting your nails done, yoga retreats, and all these things are amazing. And to be fair, they might be self-care in that moment. They might be. If ultimately the goal of self-care is to revitalize you and help you enjoy your life more, then getting your nails done, getting a massage, those might not be the things that give you that. So I want us to look into that a bit more. Self-care is actually a huge way that you might be running away from your life. So instead of facing a problem head on, you might be running off to the beach to go for a 3-hour walk. You might be, booking a massage, booking a facial, all these different things. Is that the thing that really recharges you the most in that moment? Or is it just your mind telling you, because we get such a big story with self-care from the world, that the only way to recharge is to go for a walk and to do these different self-care practices, get your nails done, whatever it might be? We have a very limited view of what really re-energizes and recharges you and gives you life. And to be honest, this is so different for different people. So one example of this will be with your work. Say you're really behind in work, you've got 100 emails that are unread, you've got a million things you need to do, you're super behind, you're super disorganized, you feel anxious, you feel stressed about this, and you decide on the weekend that you're gonna go away to a yoga retreat, to get massages, to get facials, and all these different things to try to revitalize you and relax you. But then Monday comes and you're opening up your laptop and you're in the same mess. You're anxious, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed. It's not helpful. Your best self-care in a moment like that might be opening up your laptop for 5 or 6 hours, going through, organizing, making a plan, facing your problem head on might be the best form of self-care in that moment. And I feel like we don't always talk about self-care is sometimes going for the root of the problem and actually looking at it as opposed to running away. When you look at a problem, you minimize it. It's really not that big of a deal. You're ready to face it. You're kind of saying like, hey, I'm bigger than the problem. I got this. It's one of the biggest ways to use self-care as self-sabotage is when you're avoiding a problem. You are affirming that the problem is bigger than you and that you can't handle it. So of course it's destroying your confidence. Of course it's making you feel anxious. This is not surprising information. This is very understandable because you are saying, here's the problem, here's me, I can't handle it. And when you're facing a problem head on and you're looking at it in the eye, you are saying that you are bigger than the problem. You already have the solution. So of course it's going to make you feel more confident, more comfortable, more at ease. And I'm not saying that every time you have a problem to face it head on right away. Obviously there are times you need to like take a step back, take a break. I'm talking about consistently avoiding your problems in the name of self-care and not acting like the solution is right by the problem. If you've got a problem, the solution's right there. If you've got a problem at work, the solution is not a face mask. It's not a bath. It's gonna be something directly related to the problem. And you are bigger than the problem, so it's important to affirm that, to really look at it head on. Talking to your friends on the phone for hours at a time instead of dealing with your life. Talking about your life, but not dealing with it. This is a huge form, and this is one that, oh my God, this one hits me hard. Even now it hits me hard. I still do this sometimes, where you're gonna call a friend, you're gonna talk to them for 4 hours, you're basically gonna emotionally dump on them, and you're not gonna handle your life. And you kind of notice at the 45-minute mark, you start feeling a little anxious, you start feeling a little weird, but you can't stop. You're on like this roller coaster of emotion that you can't get off the phone. But the conversation's not helping you. It's not helping your friend either. You're kind of bringing both of you down. And it's like this really sneaky little, oh, I'm opening up, I'm talking about, you know, my problems to another person, but you're not really doing anything about it. You're just living in it. And it's a really sneaky little way. Talking about your problems for extended periods of time or right after the problem occurs, calling up a friend is not helpful. looking at your life and dealing it is going to be the most helpful thing there. And also, let's be honest, one thing that's important to note, when you're using different things to self-sabotage, the actual activity isn't relaxing. It's actually kind of awful sometimes. Like, I've gone to the beach as a way to avoid my life a ton, and the beach isn't fun. It doesn't feel good. It's not exciting. Like, everything in my body is like, Ellie, go home. Fix what you need to fix. This is not, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, I have a hard time relaxing. This is your body telling you that you have something to do that's going to actually solve the problem and calm your anxiety, and you're going to feel so much better afterward. You will feel free, you will feel revitalized. And that's another really important distinction. Self-care always makes you feel better afterward. If you're feeling anxious during, if you feel anxious after, it's not because you have anxiety and your body can't relax. It's because you have something that you're supposed to be doing. And how else is your body supposed to be telling you that you have something else you're supposed to be doing? I think it's really silly to put self-care in this tiny, constrictive box that you have to go on a really long walk to be revitalized and re-energized, that you have to go get a massage to be revitalized and re-energized. No one knows what's going to do that for you other than you. And it's either facing your problem head on or doing something that you love. And you might not love getting a massage. You might love doing literally anything else. I don't know what you love. You know what you love. So follow kind of what you feel is best in that moment, and don't kid yourself when you are using self-care as a way to avoid your problems, especially because society is going to encourage it. If you call up a friend and say you're overwhelmed and they encourage you to go to the beach, relax, go get a massage, while good intentions, you get a lot of bad advice when it comes to self-care, like terrible advice. The ways that we're told to avoid our lives and that we really shouldn't face our problems head on, it's really kind of silly. It's not empowering. It doesn't feel good. It's not going to make you feel revitalized or re-energized, and it is absolutely not going to make you enjoy your life more. So use a very discerning eye, especially when people are giving you advice on this topic. I want to give you one example of this that I found in my life. I used to find that when I would come home from work, I would be so exhausted, and I would decide that the best way for me to relax and revitalize my energy was to watch TV and to not really do anything. You know what I found actually revitalized me and re-energized me more than anything? Was doing things that I love, that I used to think, oh no, I have to save up my energy. You know, I only have so much energy to give, so I have to be really careful about it. And when I started just throwing those rules out the window and doing what I wanted, and showing up for what I wanted, and not making it this time that I had to save up my energy and restore my energy for the next day, I actually enjoyed my life, and I actually felt energized, and it actually took the pressure off work, and it didn't make it so stressful, and it didn't make it this big thing that I had to save up my energy for. And no one ever gave me this advice, so this is advice that I'm giving you. Hopefully it can save you from some time where you're being told bad advice to use self-care in a way that really is sabotaging yourself. And again, don't blame the people that give you this advice. They mean well. Truly no one knows but you. But don't look at yourself like this sad little wounded person that needs all these things to revitalize your energy, or you don't have a way to give to life. It's not an empowering position to be in, and honestly, it's not true. And you don't know that it's not true until you actually start just doing what you want to do and not limiting yourself and making yourself do all these self-care things to revitalize you. You might not need it. I highly encourage you to really look at the ways you're revitalizing and seeing, are they really revitalizing you, or are you just avoiding your problems? That is it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you soon.